All right, the next step is to create the ramp from the sidewalk surface. So we're going to add elevations from the sidewalk at the top of ramp and flow line. So to do that, we go to Annotate, Add Labels, Surface, Spot Elevation, right-click and let's pick our sidewalk surface. So here's the top of the ramp here, and this is the flow line. Let's hit that point. So I'm going to copy this spot elevation. Let's place it here. And if you see this question mark, that means it's outside the surface. So if you look at surface properties, triangles, you can see it's slightly outside the surface. So you can just move it a tad bit, that. And it's 34.19. Let's copy the next one. Place it here at the flow line, and you see it's off a little bit, so just move it slightly into the surface and you'll get the elevations. Turn this off. All right. So we don't need these anymore, so we can delete them. It's no clutter. All right. So we've got the flow line elevations. You see it's lower, and then the top of the ramp. So let's create a feature line. None. And then we're going to pick the end here. We're going to call it an elevation of 34.19. And then take that point there, and it should have the elevation. Click elevation, 34.68. Enter. Escape. And let's do another one for this side. Well, let's check this first. Check the feature line. Let's see the grades. Elevation editor. This is 7% grade, so that's good. We're allowed 7.5%. So feature line, create feature line, enter, pick that point there. Elevation is going to be 34.14. And then you can pick that circle. If you pick the circle, it'll hit that elevation and that'll be 34.73. Or you can just specify it. Press enter, escape. So that's your two ramps there. So let's, now we can check, we can create a surface for the sidewalk, for the ADA ramp. So we're gonna right click on surface, create surface, and we're gonna call this CR-1, or just CR1, 01. Okay. I'm gonna add the brake lines for the ramps. So this is ramp. So we can add this feature line and this feature line. And you can see the boundary of the surface. So now we want to check this grade is 7.5%. So go to annotate, add label, surface, slope, CR1, that's the surface created, 2 points. And let's use the center line as the guide. So use the nearest snap. You can click that, and then you have 5.88% straight down the ramp, which is good. Turn this back off. And you can copy these slopes and just check and see if we have less than 7.5%. You see over here it's 7%. So all this is a little 7.5%, less than 7.5%. The ramp's kind of warped, so that's good. So we checked that. And then make sure you do a save. And the next thing we're going to have is the landing. So let's see here. We need 1.5% this way and 1.5%. The landing has to be flat, pretty flat. So it's 1.5% this way and 1.5% this way. Okay, so let's go and pick up the elevations from the sidewalk and see if this works. So go back here, surface, spot elevations, right click and check the sidewalk elevations. So one there and one here. All right, so we're gonna go back to home and we're gonna make the landing elevations now. Feature line, create feature line. Click that, it's 34.73, otherwise you can type it down. Zoom on the circle, and this is 34.77, enter. And then create another feature line from here. So it's 34.68, enter. Just hover on the circle. 34.72, enter. And then the back of the landing, create feature line. So that's 34.77. And this is 34.72. And now we can add this break line. So click on the break line, right click, add. Let's type in landing. And we're gonna put in that feature line, and this feature line. Now you can see the surface moved over here. So let's check the slopes. There's one here, it's 1.09, that's good. Let's check another slope here. Let's use near snaps to be exact. You can just copy this, select it, and then use the grips to move it around. And you can see that these are good. 1.7. Maybe check back here. 1.2 is good. Check back here, here, and here. So you have a relatively flat landing that it's all less than 1.5%. So that's your surface. Let's check to see what it looks like. Surface properties. And then you're going to view the triangles. And there's your triangles for the ADA ramp and landing. So click on the triangle, right click, object viewer, and you can see our ramp. It goes up, and there's a landing.